Okay, that's called an effective job search. I'm going to show you how to do a good CV or a resume or a cover letter. Okay, how to write it to an extent that ule ataishika tasema, I know what this person knows. This one is a very effective person. Okay, some by the grace of God actually get jobs just by the grace of God. Nile tu Mungu alikuangalia tu akakusaidia tu akasema na. But now sustaining that job. Nilo nakishinda hapo ukisema kila saa nisaidieni job yangu iko na issues. It's because you didn't know some of these things. All right? Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Now don't worry about that writing. It's a bit small. Okay? Now many times, look at me mostly, okay? Many times, the employers, okay? They use the resume or the CV as a way, look at me, don't usisome huko, nitawapatia hizo slides baadaye, okay? But write notes. So if I'm not seeing you're not writing, so I'll decide not to give you. Okay? They use your CV or your resume as a hiring process. It's stage 1. That's why they ask you for it. Tuma CV. Or matuma your resume. I'll show you the difference. Most people don't know the difference. Okay? Tuma CV. So it is supposed to be your CV or your resume must be easy to read. Good grammar. Sentences well outlined. Easy to understand. Babu ukipatia ule receptionist a hard time. Anaitupa. You get job applications, 2,000 people. I've never forgotten when I went to my first job. It was my second UN agencies, but my first job with UNICEF. This lady, after now, I passed the interview, she said, hey, she said, Akiwewe, unajua, unaona ile box iko pale? Alafu kulikuwa na ingine kubwa pale zaidi. We had 2,000 applicants for this job. What? Surely God, you love me. 2,000. Akaniambia, lakini nyingi zilichujwa kule kwa reception. So tukaambiwa tupatie the first 100. So your name was there among the first 100. And then it was shortlisted again to 50. Other people went through. They shortlisted to 50. Then they shortlisted to 20. And then they shortlisted to 5. So only 5 out of 2,000 were actually called for the interview. So guess who else does all that job? Not the technical people and not your manager. He has absolutely no time to go through these things. And today, the organization doesn't do it. They've hired other companies that actually do this. And what do? They have keywords that they need to see in a CV. So they pass your CV through a machine, and it identifies those words. And if it identifies those keywords they are looking for, then it is picked. If it doesn't have any of those words, it's thrown away. Inakuwa trash. Imagine ulikuwa umeombea yako yote. Do you understand that? So every moment, every time when you're looking at your CV, you need to be able to reflect on the qualifications that match that particular job. And that should be seen in that CV. Okay. Your experiences. Exactly what are the relevant skills? You might consider having different types of CVs. Okay. That means ukisikia different jobs, usizoe kutuma the same CV. It will be thrown out. So you must tweak it all the time. Next slide, please. Okay. So what is a resume? It's a summary. It's a brief summary. It can be about 3-4 pages, or 2 pages, or 1 page. For most of you may not have something much to put in a resume, maybe because you've not had that huge experience. So it could be 1 or 2 pages, all right? Whereby you are writing about where you went to college, what you did, what subject you covered that is relevant to this particular job, those kind of things, okay? And then a CV then is a detailed one. That's the difference. A CV is very detailed. A resume is a summary, but a brief summary, okay? It's a brief summary. So when someone asks you, please, would you share with us your resume? It means our one time ya kusoma a detailed thing. Know the difference. When the minute they start asking, please share your resume, share a resume, not a CV. Ukituma CV, watasoma page 1, 2, watachana na hizo zingine. Hata reference watasoma. But when they ask for a CV, they're looking for those details. In other words, an example is this. If you said you worked with this particular company, all right, what exactly were you doing in that company? Details. I was in charge of this, I was in charge of this, I did this. And then you don't just say you were in charge. Did you bring a difference in that company? That's what they're looking for. Telling them you're in charge alone does not help. So a real CV is a detailed summary of professional education histories used for job applications. Now imagine when you're talking about your academic qualifications, how does it fit in with that job? I did accountants. In the accountant that you did, what specifically did you do that can actually fit into this job? And that's why I'm saying for every job, tweak it. Okay? Tweak it to suit that job. I have a master's in arts or Bachelor of Arts in what subject now? Economics, yes, or psychology. Specifically, I was able to undertake a specific course on gender. Because you see, this job is about gender, right? Let me tell you, you can tweak your CV to suit anything. It depends on you. Na unaanza kuongea kuhusu hiyo gender thing, it's like it was the only thing you ever did at the university. So when these people are busy scanning through your CV, they are able to tell, haya, huyu amefanya gender, this one is a good candidate. So you start finding yourself being there, okay? Or being selected, all right? Okay, so that particular layer, the content that is in that place, it's supposed to be very selective in the sense that which word can I use? Excel? Chambua. You see, unachuja. Inachuja until it fits in kabisa. All right? Don't be those kind of people. Kwa hili now ajui psychology kuna kwa na agenda. Watajua uliwaona kwa hiyo class. Nakumbuka ni secretary ambaye ajaifanya psychology. Hata ajui psychology ni nini. You get the point? So don't feel like everybody should understand economics is about this and this and what in economics fits into this job. Okay? You get that clearly? Am I helping someone? Yes. Am I helping you? Okay. So you do that, you write your education, your professional history, and let me tell you, I'll go back there to professional history. Most of you are afraid of actually just being interns anywhere. Yeah? Unaogopa. Nikikwambia kuja tu ufanye job kwangu kidogo tu. Oh, how much will you pay me? Oh, me, I don't have time. I'd rather even stay at home and just be on social media. I'll give you an example. And I think I've given this example to some people before. This is what happens. We were in, I was in UNICEF then. And this young man, his qualification looked really nice. Okay? You mention it. He's someone who's supposed to have worked overseas. He was a Mzungu. Someone who has worked overseas and true to the word. He had been in Ethiopia, he had been to Malawi, he had been to Congo, he had been to Zambezi, he had been, all those areas. Okay. What was he doing? He even tells you which organization, local organizations where he worked. All right? So that was something very key that we were looking out for. He already had the background of education, which we were looking for as well. Okay? He had done these small courses. M&D, those ones he knew. He had done accounts, those ones he had done statistics, those ones he was good at. So the guy looked okay. Really okay. So we sat down and we said, okay, fine. So we will forward to, we got that, we sieved out, and then we were given the three names. So we had someone he was one of them who had experience overseas. He had done some academic courses on this. He was familiar with certain statistical packages, and actually when we were handed over the CVs, we said, this guy looks, so we need now to interview. This one, huyu ndo anakaa kama ni wetu. Okay. So when we were given, so we had the three of them to interview. We started interviewing them. Then I just asked him a question. He's not telling you exactly. He tells you in this year he was in this country, he worked with this organization. This year he was in this country, worked. And the thing, he's not telling you whether it was internship. You see the way he has coined his CV. So we asked him to send us another additional write-up to tell us exactly he wrote the organization, but the duration. Oh, lo and behold, this guy had been in all those countries. In total, it was only 7 weeks. We almost gave him a job. You get the point? So he was missing out on things, and I'll be showing that. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, for the keywords, I've said towards the key posting. What he had done is that he had just picked out those things, and he knew that's what we were looking for from the job, the key job words. Overseas, we've done this, he has done this, we've done this, we've done. And what helped us most, I'll be showing you also about the background checks that we usually use, okay? All right, let's continue. Use professional font. How many people know about professional fonts? Don't go exciting people's eyes. They'll throw your CV away. Ati kuna ka font kengine niliona pale. Hii nafikiri ndio itawapendeza zaidi. Okay, don't do that, okay? Use professional terms. One is Arial, the other one is Times New Roman, okay? And you can also keep your font size between 10 and 12 points. Don't make them too large, they irritate the eyes. Don't make them too small, they also irritate the eyes. Okay, 10 to 12. There's also some that they require spacing. It could either be 1 or 1.5, depending. And some organizations are very keen on those things. Okay, so you have to be careful. Use active language. This means using power words such as I have achieved, I have earned, I completed and accomplished, and I'll give you a whole array of names, of words, okay? And if possible, use subheadings, all right? Usiandike kila kitu pu. Sisi ndio tunatafuta alienda shule gani hapo katikati. Haya, nako na skills gani? Atuoni ziko hapo the third paragraph. So where are the subheadings? So you could decide to do my brief summary, you could decide to do my academics, you could decide to do my experiences, my work experience. You could also decide to do maybe like if you've authored books and stuff like that. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. I've said that much of it. What exactly should be in the resume? Okay, one, your education and professional qualification. One of the questions people like to ask me, niandike ile primary school nilienda. Paka kindergarten. People ask in forums like this. We'll answer that later. Okay? Your experience for each position. Be sure to include the name and location of the company, your title, dates of employment. Okay? Andika nilifanya kazi kutoka this day up to this date. Okay? And your specific responsibilities and accomplishment. Say, oh, I was hired and I was there as a teacher. And then what? Did you teach? People graduated or they left. Maybe they dropped out of school. You don't know. Okay? It's important that during that particular time, I was able to graduate up to 600 children. Nani hataki kuandika job size? Hebu soma tena hapo. 600 children. That's the lady we should be employing. If within this period of time anaweza manage kufanya, then it's important. Then we have other skills. You may also list specific skills related to your job interests, such as foreign language or research. Hallelujah. Najua ukiingia na ulisoma Kizungu, hutaki kusoma any other language. Soma, andika hapo Lingala. Amaje. Yeah, you know another language. Na sisemu usiandike Kikuyu kama ndio ya kwenyu. Be proud. Say, when they say, do you have another language other than English? And say yes, Kikuyu. Who knows? Maybe they have a project in Kikuyu and you've denied yourself the chance. Right. Daisy is laughing. Yeah. The day they know, Daisy, you are actually from there, they will tell you to be using the flights that go to USA, because nowadays so many Kikuyus are just going there. So, and some even can't speak English. So they tell you, please accompany these ones. Alafu unaanza kutuambia, imagine nimepata hii. Ni CV uliandika tu. Wakajua wewe wanafanya nini? It sounds fun, isn't it? Next slide. So you can see other things you do. You can even do what you can, other things like, I know how to write proposals. I know how to fundraise. I can run financial analysis. Now that you know with your economics, put that as part of the skills you can do. Right? There are things, I'm proficient in certain softwares. And give us some of the results of some of the things you've been able to do. I can do both written or verbal communication in whatever language you think that is good. And even you can say, I was given one time an opportunity to interpret in this forum, and it was an international one. Nani hataki kuandika wakisikia vitu kama hizo? I can negotiate very well. My organization was stuck at some point, and they asked me to go and negotiate, and we got the deal. All right, I'm an active listener. Whenever I'm in a meeting, I listen. Okay, you're just not, you're somebody different. And let me tell you, the people of the world knows this. Na wewe ujui na uko hapa kwa kanisa ya Mungu tu. You're not even an active listener. I can lead. During my time, at that particular time, I was a team leader. And there were 10 people, 30 people working under me. Okay? All right? You can do that. I mentor others. Most people don't even say things like that. Okay? I was a team leader or I mentor others. I'm a critical thinker. Give me anything. Nitakuchambulia vizuri. Now that I learned there's a word like chambulia. I'm a critical thinker. I put things in perspective. You give me everything. You know what they say about advisors or consultants? They say that what we do is that we are so tired, we can't think. Tumefanya tu vitu madogo talafu tutatumia consultant. Please sort it out. That's what I do. You know, people don't want to think. Please, next slide. Okay. Yeah. This is a nice one. Consider including social media profiles that are relevant to that position, such a detailed LinkedIn profile. How many people are on LinkedIn? How many people are on Facebook? Hey. How many people are on WhatsApp? Nani kabisa hayuko kwa anything? Wewe tu Mungu tu akusaidie. Na si atu ni vibaya. Okay. Now today we are going to be talking a little bit so about Twitter, media, Instagram may be valuable for certain roles. Now let me tell you, they could make you or break you. They could make you or break you. If you know the kind of people you have on Facebook, wacha nikwambie tu, when they get into that famous Facebook of yours, this one cannot be an employee of UN or USAID. I just finished a project with USAID. Not this one. Unabaki hapo tu kishanga, sema but nilikuwa napiga tu fair selfies. Uko kwa beach, una shati. You wonder why some of us are not on Facebook, why we are not on certain things. We are protecting our profiles. And even if we did, I would not put some of those things there. But even if I don't, they will follow my friends. And then wanaona ni wale wa kusmoke, na ni wale wa kufanya, na ni wale wana shati open, na ni wale wa kuvaa sijui aje, na wale wanapatiana very funny quotes. Wanasema, birds of the same feather flock together. So anaweza kuwa hayuko, lakini yeye mwenyewe, we cannot isolate this person. Now remember, when you're coming in like for UN or USAID, because USAID seems to be taking over UN now. USAID, there are things they will not allow you as a representative to do. And there are people they will not allow you to work together with. So be very careful. Anza sahi. Anza kudelete vitu zingine and link yourself from certain people, especially those who have no focus. All right? Not those people who will go and show you how they are. Kule walikuwa wameenda mapati zingine hata uelewi zinaanzia wapi, zinaenda wapi. They will mess you up along the way. And you'll be wondering, I thought I did so well in that interview. I even answered every question. I counter-checked, it was okay. So what happened? Background checks. It's called background checks. That's what will happen. So referees, names and contact information, including title of the person, place of employment, business address, phone and email, and you can give 3 to 5 referees. Question people have always asked me, can I give my bishop and my pastor as a referee? It's a good question. You can 100% know that the bishop will always say good about you. Hata saili anajua nakuja church late. Rarely will they contact your bishop unless it's a Christian organization. And if it's a Christian organization, they will not even bother contacting. Initially, they will ask you to attach a letter from your pastor. Do you get the point? Yes. But hizi jobs zingine, wakiona tu jina Pastor Swenza, na si ati wanakuonea, wanajua chungaji ni wakarimu, wamejua umepata job mzuri, ataandika CV yake akikumbuka vile ulikuwa mzuri Sunday school. Hapa katikati atasema. Pastor hawezi kasema, and you know there's a time she left church and then she was away for 2 years. We think that time we are not so sure where she was. Hakuna mtu atakupatia your job. Okay? And it's a good thing to have your pastors there. But if they ask, I've been asked actually, and Papa has done me a very good letter. And one of the letters that Papa had to do for me is when I was going to the UK. They asked, can you get a letter from your religious leader? They don't even call them pastors. Why? Because they've also asked a Muslim, andikiwe na nani? Na sheikh. Na ule mwingine andikiwe na muindi. Ule wa muindi anaitwa nani? Welcome to the world outside there. That's how it is. That's the reality. Okay? Unless Papa kuandikie barua lakini asiandike as bishop of this church, andike tu as a referee na andike jina ingine. But the minute you put his name, it's good. But if and only they ask. If they ask, thank God. I was asked by the embassy that question because they wanted to counter-check my legal status in terms of how I've been from, and they knew there was no way Papa was going to lie. Si atakuwa tayari koiste kama nilikuwa jela, si atasema nilikuwa jela. Do you understand? Yeah, so there are certain things there. So what you do is try to get referees that can actually recommend you because they are familiar with that kind of a job. What does that tell you? It means you have to keep on changing your referees all the time. You cannot have the same referee kutoka skule ulitoka shule, ukafanya jobs mingi Roy somewhere, lakini bado uko na the same referees. Na hii job inataka another type of a referee. So you've got to keep on changing them, depend. For instance, if it is a job aligned to economics, look for people you know that are good, that have reputable profiles that you can actually include in there. Okay, to suit that particular. Wakimpigia tu simu hivyo wanajua. Already before tuampigie simu utakuwa ushawauliza permission whether they can use your name, okay, to get the job. All right. So that's how it goes. Okay. Who is a good reference? I've already told someone who knows you well, and not your brother or your sister or your auntie or your uncle. Unaenda andika hapo Brenda, unaenda kaandika mabrother zako hapo watatu. You have to watch out. Later. Keep it. I know it's a hot one. Avoid as much as possible. There's a question they like to ask you. Do you have any of your relatives that works for this agency? The minute you say yes, you lose the job. Especially UN and USAID. That works for this. Unless you tell them yes, works for this, works for UN, but works for World Food Program because you want to get to UNICEF. Or they work for UNICEF, but they are based somewhere in another country. Okay? But not the same UNICEF, the same country, hautapata your job. Hata kama we ni mzuri aje. Can we help you? You're very beautiful. Ni wako Alan. Alan, wachana nao tu wakuchekelee. Our time is coming. Okay? Let's move to the next one. Okay. Oh, there's a last bit that was talking about. Make sure you get your a referee from your immediate job. A lot of times, people don't want to make referees of their immediate jobs. Why? You messed badly. Ulitoka huko na hasira zote. Hata hapa sitai kuja tena. Ngoja kwanza nipate ile job ingine ilikuwa kwa kule. Sitaki hata kusikia nilikuwa kwa hapa. The minute they see you've actually made a reference to where you were last working, they start trusting you. Sasa wale receptionist wanaangalia hiyo sana. Na huyu referee ni wa wapi? Mbona ana connection na hizi experiences zote tunaona hapa hivi? Then there's a problem. Okay? For instance, if you say you worked for Save the Children, okay? And one of the referees there is also someone from Save the Children, it also saves your life. Okay? But if you find that one of the referees in that place has got nothing to do with all the places you ever worked in, they'll even ask you what's the connection between this person and that. Okay? Okay. Yeah, so be careful with your referees and how you choose them. The next thing is, I like this one. Don't use unprofessional email address like coolkenya86@gmail. Atiyo sasa ni Gmail email yako. Umeandika hapo. coolkenya86@hotmail ama Gmail ama Yahoo. Ama kwanza mimi. Na nasema prophetically kwanza mimi @gmail.com. You get the point? No, umeandika yako yote. Nasema mbona sikuwekwa kwanza? Okay, so be careful. We get these ones. Instead, for that particular job, start having what we call a professional email if you don't have one. If you don't have one, enda kwa watu wa cyber, waambie please nionyesheni how to do email. Maybe you've never done it before. Nionyeshe even how to create one, and it has to be a good one. Okay? Okay, and then so don't include personal information such as marital status. Now you almost say, na watajuaje sijaolewa, mimi sitaki kuandika niko single, mimi niko single, sitaki kusumbuliwa. Okay? Things like tribe. Mimi ni Mjaluo tafadhali. Kama mnaniandika mimi ni Mjaka. Or religious affiliation unless it is a religious organization and they've requested for that. Which in their job ad, they would have told you to indicate your religious affiliation. Okay? Meaning that you must go through the job advert very well. Okay? So don't make a relative your referee. I've already said that. Okay? Don't include your salary package or preferences unless asked. And I'm hoping as you're giving me these jobs, or a subtitle written, salary preference. You pay me between this and this. Who told you? Maybe even they are not offering, maybe they're even offering more. wewe mwenyewe umejaribia. They look at you, they say, she's asking so little. We want someone who is serious with this job. Wacha tutafute wale wanataka pesa mingi. Lakini anaenda kujitangaza hivi. Wanasema kibaya chaji, tangaza kizuri chaji, uza. Don't give someone else to write your resume or CV. And if you do, check that the information is correct and relevant to the job ad. This has put so many people in trouble. You know the way you have these guys at Saba Cafe? And they say that we also write CVs. Say, shida iko wapi sasa? Wacha huyu jamaa akanichore, si ndio? Anaenda na kuchorea. What the person did, alikuwa akona hiyo template, alimemalizia kuandikia mwingine, anatoa majina yako, anatoa majina ule mwingine, anaweka yako. Sengine anasahau hata birthday. Anaandika wewe ulizaliwa 19 when? 14. Yeah, anaandika anything hapo. Okay? Not only that, anaandika ma professionals hapo na zingine sio zako. And you're in a hurry. Nimeona jina, nimeona nini. Unakimbia pale kwa shule, unaona amefanya kila kitu vizuri. Hapo kwa shule ameandika vizuri. Ajaandika details of the things that you need. Unatuma. So when you come for the interview, you're looking at you. How old are you? I'm 25. Then why did you write here you were born in 1956? Okay? So people already can see you're confused. Okay? Yeah, those are some of the things. Now, let me give you my practical example for people who give people in cyber to write for them. When I was doing my PhD, I was doing my project in Kisumu. So we needed research assistants, and we were very specific who we needed. We needed people who have finished their first degrees, have experiences in doing research, blah, 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 because it was a major, big, funded project. So hakuna mchezo kwa hiyo. So do you know we received a lot of CVs? But 20 of them, 20 CVs were the same, except for the name. Kila kitu the same. Judith Otieno, jina ndio imechangiwa. Date of birth, it was 2000 and something. Oh, no, it was 1980 something. Nana, like this. The same name, the same year of birth, the same date, the same place they come from, all of them were coming from the same area. Then we started looking at the content. So the minute we realized, so we called one person and said, did you write it? Yes, I actually wrote it last night. And then, we called the other. Yes. Actually, I wrote my CV, and that's the one I forwarded. I printed it myself. I brought it here. We called the other one, but we called only 3. All of them were telling us the same story. They wrote their CVs. So we put 20 of them aside. So one of my technical people decided they want to find out exactly which cyber cafe they were going to. So we actually found the cyber. The people were keen. They found the cyber where this person was doing it. And so we realized, this is not good for them. So be careful. When you're busy sending your CV to people, please type for me, nitaipia kakakitu. I can see people are laughing. Nitaipia kakakitu. Atakuwekea vitu ambazo huko umefanya. That's bad. Let's go to the next one, please. Character of a good CV, I think we've talked all about. Go to the next one. We've talked about active verbs to use in a resume. I've launched, I've introduced, I've developed, I've reduced this malnutrition rates, I've decreased this number of people, formalized, blah, 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 all that. Next, please. Let's go to the cover letter now. This also can throw you out. It can either bring you in or throw you out, okay? Now, a lot of people, a lot of organizations, even including the government, they'll ask you for a resume and a cover letter. Vitu mbili tu ndio ujulikane we ni nani. So what's a cover letter? That once they read the cover letter, it's like it's a summary of your resume. Now remember, the resume was a brief of the CV. But the cover letter now, it's just a resume of them all. So it makes it easy for them to understand. Huyu ndio tunataka ama huyu hatutaki. Now from the cover letter, they can throw you out. Even before they spend time looking at the resume, okay? The letter is an introduction to who you are and why you are the best fit for the position. So right from the cover letter, they already know. Therefore, your letter offers a preview of your resume. I've already said that. So you need to submit it and customize your letter to actually the job you applied. Customize it. Ifanye ikue ni kama, well, it's you they are looking for. In fact, that's the place now you kind of shine. I'm the best placed for this job. Because, do you get the point? Nasi tuko proud. Unajua huku kwa hizi jobs za kukua humility. There's no humility huko. I'm really sorry, but you know I'm a humble person. I'm only trying to tell you this is what I do. No, nakukua hizo vitu huko. They want to see whether you can help them. This is a multi-billion-dollar project. Na umeenda hapo ukaanza kusema vitu zingine kama hizo, they will not trust you with their money. Okay? Next. How to write a cover letter. Number 1, indicate your address, your email, and telephone. Very important. And that's where you don't go calling yourself Scooby-Doo 1920 to do something. Okay? You don't do that. All right? At Gmail. Okay? You write the date, specifically like that, the day, the month, and the year. Or if in USA, we always start with the month. Okay? And then the day. And know who your employer is. Usichanganyishe watu. You should know you're the one who is looking for the job, not them. And you're not the only one who is applying for the job. 100 others are applying for it. So you need to know, am I applying for a USA agency or am I applying to just every other agency? Okay? If it's USA, you start with the month, the day, and the year. And the year is supposed to be 4. Okay, you can know I was doing that at very late last night, so I missed out. So address the letter to a specific person. And in their advert, they told you who to address it to. Is it the HR? Is it Mr. So-and-so? Is it the finance? Is it? They told you. Please write a cover letter to and submit to ba. Usianze hapo kwenda kwa to whom it may concern. My friend, just that to whom it may concern will make you lose the job. Do you see the mistakes sometimes we make? All right? Can I continue, Ma'am Umechoka? We continue, okay. Then give greetings. Usikwe wala sasa, I'm writing to this job. In fact, I like it very much, blah, blah, blah. Salimia watu kwanza. Okay, so how do you greet them? You have written to, especially when you've written to a specific person, what do you say? Haujambo sana. Hey, sasa. Actually, we have letters that are written in Sheng. Yes, we get letters written in Sheng. People try. I told you the people out there. You shy off. Mtu ameandika yake yote tu. Sasa. Rada. Yeah, they are serious. They are writing. And let me tell you, huyo namchekelea ndio atapata hiyo job. At least he will make efforts. Inaweza kuwa kuna vitu other than rada, kuna vitu zingine, si ndio? Okay. Okay, so dear so and so, I hope this email finds you well. That is if you're sending the cover letter by email. All right. Can you see that? So when you are actually sending, you can do that. Or HR to the HR. You can start off also with a greeting message. Is that clear? All right? Always answer an advert if you have a 50% and above of the skills or background that the advert requires. Okay. Now, most of you will tell me, lakini God can intervene. I told you, mwenye kuanza kuskim off those things, anakuwa nani? Ka receptionist ama ka messenger kalipewa list tu ati huyu naye ananiharibia time yangu hapa tirada zinatumwa tu zikitupwa. But the minute they start seeing certain things, even the way you've written, they put you on the side and they know this one we cannot mess around with this. Okay, so give enough information to interest the reader, but don't overwhelm them. And on this particular day, I went to this place. And after the meeting, I was able to do this. And in fact, I've not even mentioned in my writing that even that day, the manager called me and told me I did a very good job. Nani amekuuliza hizo zote? Cover letter. That's why I said, as much as possible, make it a one-pager. Kitu atasoma once. Very precise. Usiharibu time ya watu. Stories za kwenda market, ukarudi na nduma, ukazichemusha, achana nazo. Okay? Be very precise. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Next page. Next slide, please. Yes. Content of a cover letter there. Brief about yourself. I'm a Kenyan woman, aged 42 or 50 or 70, whatever you want to see your ages. Say that you know slightly about that organization. Okay? All right? In fact, some words used, you call it, there's something you can say about an organization that, that you saw this advertisement from this organization, and most people like to use on your esteemed organization, whatever it is. That alone, they say, hey, now you kweli respect your organization, aje. Okay? All right? So you can write something slightly about it. You can say that this organization that that deals with blah, 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 blah. All right? And therefore, what you're telling them, because they deal with that, but that information, don't get it from me. You get it from the advert itself. Tomorrow they are giving me a call. They called me from the Philippines, but last week I was somewhere else, so I couldn't pick their call. And I told them to wait until I come back on Monday, which is tomorrow. So 9:45, I'm getting another call. And today I saw a reminder as I was sending to Meshach this presentation. And they're reminding me I have 24 hours to go before I get the call. So they were calling me and they're telling me we would like to talk to have an informal call. An informal call. Informal call. So of course to me, I know what informal call means. Get the point? Now imagine ukiambiwa informal call, hata utashughulika. Ni hawa, ni kunisalimia tu. Okay. So I'll be telling you about what informal calls are all about, okay? Mention about your resume for reference of details about experiences and qualifications. In other words, you're summarizing. I went to this particular course that I know out of this course, blah, 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 blah. I did this particular one. I have experience in this. I was able to be employed by this organization. In that particular time, I was a team leader. I did this, I did this, I did this, in line with the advert. Si lazima wajue hizo wote ulienda. But ile unajua that you can pull out that is what you emphasize on, okay? Then the next one you see is the paragraph. What do you want then? Tell them. After all, si ndo wamekwambia wanakutaka. But what do you want? All right? Or what do you have to offer them? So concise overview of work, history, and skills that you will help you perform the job very well, and also state confidence in your ability to undertake that particular assignment you're being given. Are you able to? That other than this, then I'm also able to undertake monitoring and evaluation of your projects in a precise manner because I have the experience of doing that. And you say, you can give the very most recent one. For instance, the last 2 months, I was involved in this particular assessment, and these were the results. Okay? Okay. Like now, the ones I like depending on the cost of the assignment, I tell them I've been involved in raising project proposals. And these are the 2 examples that I was able to, that went through successful. I did a project proposal for this particular organization to the European Union, and they were able to secure a funding of $200 million. Nani hataki kukuandika job wakisikia hivyo? Propose. Unaandika proposal na vile sisi organization tumekuwa tuna pesa. Hata interview imeishi hapa. Cover letter alone is enough. They can check and see that was true. Okay? So the last one is expression of your contact. This is what I do, this is what I'd like to do, this is where I'll be. Maybe, for instance, one of the things you can do is that you can say, I'm still at this job, for those who are working, because you are leaving and you're applying for another job, and the job ends on this particular day. It's not being extended because there is no funding. Okay? Or, I would like to move on to a new job because I want to improve my skills in this particular area as pertains to the advert. You get the point? Hautoki tu kienyeji. By the way, that's one question they'll ask you. Why do you want to live where you are? Ukianza kusema kwa sababu ananilipa kidogo, watakuandika. That's the truth. They will never employ you because of that. Because even when you come, you will leave them because utaona kwingine kuna pesa mingi. You get the point? Never ever tell other people, I'm leaving this organization because the amount of money they are paying me is little. Hata pengine receptionist ndo ata throw you out, si ndio? Okay, then you close. Put your name, your credentials if you have any, and put your signature on the cover letter. So that means you need to have an electronic signature. Okay? And if you don't have it, then PDF it, and it's considered as fine. Okay. Don't shy off. Just don't write Alan Clifford. What was the other name, Alan? Ondiek. Na unafikiri dunia imeisha. Na unatupa hivyo. Mwingine ataenda ngoyo jina yako, andike jina yake hapo juu, na rafiki yake ndio ataandikwa kazi na utabaki hapo ukishangaa, si ndio? Okay, I think that's it. Let's go. Let's move on.